All right, guys, welcome to another edition of Webinar Wednesday. We took a small break there for the summer, but we are back in full swing. Good to see everyone here joining and hope everyone is doing well. Hello, Colette from New Zealand, Scott from Chicagoland, Paul from Alaska, and everyone else joining us today. And a special shout out to Leo. Leo is an all-star member of the BD family. So Leo, thank you for joining and tuning in today. If this is your first time joining Webinar Wednesday, welcome. You're in for a treat. I am Jason there on the left, and we're lucky to be joined by David Rockland, who is the digital strategist here at Brilliant Directories, and so much more. And David, thanks for taking the time to join us today.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Leo. Great to be with you all for another Webinar Wednesday. Took a few weeks off. It's good to be back. Happy to see you all here. We've got a great tip of the week and a lot of great updates to share with you all. So this should be a good one.
Yeah, lots of updates to share. Actually had to hold some back because I didn't want to take it on 2 slides or drag it out, but I will dive into the lab updates in a second. We are also streaming on YouTube Live. We recommend subscribing to the Brilliant Directories YouTube channel. It also helps us out a lot. You can head on over to brilliantdirectories.com/YouTube. We'll drop a link in the comments right now so everyone can join. It's a great way to get notified as soon as these YouTube lives are beginning. The replays are available, tips of the week, feature tutorials, and more. And staying in the under the social umbrella, we also recommend everyone join the Brilliant Directories Facebook group. That group is close to hitting 20,000 members. Lots of great discussions there. I'm in there myself. And one of the benefits of streaming on YouTube Live is we will paste the replay of this webinar in the Facebook group as soon as it's finished. So recommend and invite everyone to join us there in the Facebook group. Also, if you have a Brilliant Directories website, head on over to your app store and download the free Brilliant Directories app, whether it's Apple or Android. Just search for Brilliant Directories. It's a great way to stay in touch with your site on the go. You can see new member signups, new payments received, and more. I am actually chatting with our app developers who we're working with internally to develop a newer version, which will provide you with real-time push notifications as your site has activities, such as new member signups, new leads, new revenue, and more. So we're excited for that. Timeline for that would probably be realistically a month or 2. We've been working on it all year, and there will be some additional newer features built into that. But get the app now so you'll be ready when the update is released. And we do see some new names and faces joining us. So welcome to Webinar Wednesday. Just a little bit about what we do here. Webinar Wednesday is generally twice per month, and there are lots of features being built into the Brilliant Directories platform week after week. Big shout out to you guys. A lot of the updates that we release are from your suggestions, your support tickets, your ideas that you'd like to see in the platform. So in Webinar Wednesdays, we will cover some of the features that can help you grow your community a bit quicker. So we'll cover topics such as increasing traffic, converting visitors to members, revenue opportunities, and more. And today's tip of the week is actually somewhat related to all of this because it's about driving more members to your site. So we'll cover that. Also, we do have a Q&A section. So if you need help with your site, with your membership site, if you have technical questions, strategy questions, we'll always do the 2 to 3 minute test to see if we can help you here on the webinar to help you get past that roadblock. So if you have questions, just type them into the chat. And let me put a little banner on the screen real quick. If you'd like us to unmute your microphone, join us at brilliantdirectories.com/stream and type question in all caps. That will alert us to you having a question that you'd like to ask with your microphone verbally so we can have a one-on-one chat about your question rather than just typing it in. But feel free to type in your questions as well. Okay, great. So as I mentioned, we have a lot of lab updates. It's been a few weeks since we had a webinar Wednesday, and I did hold back on some of the updates, but I'll just start at the top of the list here. And this is related to the header search. There's a new design settings option where you can turn your header search into a compact view on mobile, and I'll explain to you exactly what that is. Let's go to a site right now and see what we're referring to. So the header search, most sites have this because it's a quick lookup tool for the site, is this search right up here. So you can quickly do a search. It might be for searching members. If the focus of your site is blog articles, it might be for searching blog articles. But on mobile view, by default, I'll switch to a mobile view. We can see that it takes up a lot of real estate. And there was a setting to just show or hide this on mobile devices. Now there's an intermediary option called compact view. And let me show you exactly what that does. And I would recommend, if you guys have a header search on your site, to enable this. So if we go to settings and design settings. Okay, great. Let that load up here. And under the header design, that's where we choose if we want to have a search module there or not. So if you do have a search module, you can scroll down a bit more and there are mobile view settings. Under header search, before there was just display on mobile or hide on mobile, but the new setting is compact on mobile. I'll go ahead and set that and save the changes. And just to show how much real estate this actually saves on mobile view, I'll just duplicate this tab so we can do a side-by-side together. And I'll switch back to mobile view. And we'll see that it is gone here, but it's not really gone. There's just a search icon here, and it gracefully and elegantly toggles down from the header. So again, it saves a ton of real estate. We could see how much it was pushing content down. And it saves a ton of space and still provides great functionality as normal for being a search tool here. None of the functionality has changed. So that is the header search, and you can enable the compact view in design settings. Again, if we're going a little quick, there is a replay available, so you'll be able to catch up in the replay video. Next here is schema markup. Schema is kind of like little clues inside your site's source code that tells Google what your site is about or what a page is about or what a piece of content is about. And we've been adding more and more schema baked into the platform by default. And now all sites include what's called a schema for websites and organizations, which basically tells Google that you are an official website. And that kind of helps with their mapping and understanding of your site. So there's no action required. It's already done for everyone. All right, this next one here is related to the Manage Offers page. This was released last month, allowing you to enable offers such as web page builders, design tools, and more. I'll show you right now. So you can offer those to your members, kind of under the guise as business toolkit items. When we originally released it, that page was only in English, but now it will auto-translate to match your site's primary language that you've selected. If you're not familiar with the Manage Offers, I won't get too deep into it, but now in your admin area, under Finance, you have a Manage Offers page. And we've started you with some default tools and offers you can offer to your business members. This works for, really like a business directory site. So there's design, kind of legal and business setup options, payments like QuickBooks. And you can actually register for all these programs affiliate links. And if your members end up purchasing from any of these tools, you can get a small affiliate commission. On the member side, it shows up in their sidebar here under Business Toolkit. And you can ignore this banner up here. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But what you'll see is over here, the tools that you're recommending to your members, and they can click claim this offer. So it's like a convenience tool. And again, I also think this helps your site have a little bit more credibility. It kind of indirectly pins you to larger brands, which again can establish some clout and build again trust and worthiness of your site's brand with your members. All right, a new quality of life feature. You can now clone members with one click. This is useful if you're kind of managing your site. You might be deleting an old plan or cloning the same business, but you're just going to change the address. There is a clone members button now on the search members page in your admin area. Let's go there together. You can go to My Members, search members. And whatever your members are, you can go to Actions and click on Clone Account. So this will not clone their billing, like their billing history, their subscriptions. It will not clone their posts. It will just clone the profile itself. So there won't be duplicate billing. There won't be duplicate posts. It will just make a duplicate record of that listing on the site. All right, nothing to show here, but the email builder, when you're creating your newsletters, we've made some updates. I want to give a shout out to Katie and Steve. Actually, you guys reported some issues and we've improved some safer layout logic. So your emails, when you're designing them in the editor, they display as you've been designing them in different email clients like Zoho, Gmail, Outlook, etc. Also, we've improved the click tracking. There was a few instances where the click tracking was kind of creating redirect issues, and that has all been smoothed out. And we have more updates coming to the email builder and the newsletter creator coming soon as well. All right, the next one here is our third WordPress plugin that we have released. We had a lot of WordPress users that need to integrate or want to mesh their WordPress site with their Brilliant Directories site. This one's pretty cool. What it allows you to do is if you have a WordPress site, you might be using some form plugins like Contact Form 7, Ninja Forms, Gravity Forms, or other. And what you can do now, if you have forms on your WordPress site and they're filled out, you can actually send that data to create a member or a lead on your Brilliant Directories website. So effectively, your WordPress sites can funnel leads and new member signups to your Brilliant Directory site. Let me share the link to this WordPress plugin in the comments for everyone. And all right, that's sending off. And I'll just show you what it looks like in your WordPress dashboard. If you have one, you would have this BD Forms sync page. And depending on the form plugin you have, generally you'll just have one type of form plugin, but it does support multiple form plugins. So if you have a Gravity Forms and you created a contact us form or a new member sign up form on your WordPress site, what you do is very simple. You just select the form and the type of record you want to create leader, create member, and then you just map that form's fields to what it should create on your Brilliant Directory site. And also you can create, you can send additional custom data as well with this. So we'll be doing tutorial videos on the several WordPress plugins that we've created, and there are a few more on the way as well. All right, these next few are coming soon. We have a lot of other things coming soon, but these were the ones that I thought were most notable. This one here is related to your homepage hero section. So what is the homepage hero section? Well, the homepage hero section is this section right here. And up till now, you could basically have a title, your search module, or you can choose to have buttons or custom content. But what we found is a lot of people wanted kind of side-by-side content along their homepage, something like this, for example, where they could have very easily include a video and then have their title or call to action or search form on the left side. So what we're working on, and this is coming soon, I can show you a quick demo of it. So if you come to your design settings once this is released, I'll show you kind of how we decided to do this without doing a complete overhaul. So on your homepage, you have your primary hero content, which we're familiar with is the main title and the subtitle if you have it. We've made it full width in this example. Currently, you can choose how wide you want that area to be. So if it's anything under 100%, which leaves a little sliver of space for additional content on the left or right side, in this case, I'll do 60%. If you have anything besides 100%, you're going to see this secondary hero content section. And this will fill the remaining space of the page, the additional 40% or 50%, whatever is remainder of the percentage you've selected. And then you can have any type of content here, just like any of the text editor support, images, videos, you can embed widgets if you're a developer, forms. So it'll give you a lot more flexibility on your homepage. Again, it's nothing earth-shattering or groundbreaking, but it should give you just a little bit more control of your homepage. And again, in this case, we can see we're not even using a background image. We just chose to use a solid color for the background. We just chose a color overlay. Let's make it like a red just for demonstration purposes. And we'll save the changes. And of course, you can have a background image if you choose as well. But we can see here that this kind of gives you just a little bit more options of what you can do on your homepage. Expect this to be released probably within the next 2 weeks or earlier. So we'll be sure to cover this once it is released. All right, this next one here, we are working on a global website search that you can do in your admin area. I have a demo of this as well. So this is just a demo right now, but this type of search will be in the header of your site. And what it will allow you to do is search for things. We'll search for Jason here. And it will find members. You can search for members, reviews, leads, etc. This is a test site. We have a lot of assets with the word test in it. So we can see there's 15 members that have test here. We can search for their email, test@test.com. And we can also see which reviews or leads. And then when you click on this, it will take you directly to that record. So this will be a quick lookup tool for your website, and there'll be a lot of things that you can look up. So if you want to get to a member quickly, you could just put in their email and then go to their member record, etc. And we'll make this more robust over time, such as searching transactions and more metadata that would be available. So also for this, probably in the next month or so, we'll have it released. We just started working on it, and we're really excited about this for the convenience it's going to have in the admin for you guys. All right, also coming soon. This one is just on the cusp. It should be released this week or next week. 2 new billing cycles. So right now you can offer your members monthly, bi-monthly, semi-annually, annually to sign up for membership plans. There will be new 2 and 3 year payment cycle options. Benefit of this actually is it's pretty common, and you might be able to collect a larger amount up front. For obviously when people prepay for longer periods, they get a small discount generally, but it will give you opportunities to generate more revenue by offering those longer 2 and 3 year periods. Also helps with retention. If they're paid up for 2 or 3 years, they'll probably stick around for 2 or 3 years, so that will help reduce your churn rate. And then lastly on this list, we talked about the manage offers page. Also in the works and should be released probably within the next month or so is your ability to add your own custom offers to that manage offers page. But this will allow you to create your own custom offers, whether you want to just promote other third-party services or your own services. And those could be easily accessed by members in their member dashboard. This would work really well if you create a digital product for a type of service or an item you want to sell, and you just make it available in that business toolkit page for them. What's also important to note is that page is called Business Toolkit. Let's go back there together. But this is just a text label. You can call it whatever you want. And then lastly, I didn't put it on the slide, but we are working on some AI tools, and we probably should have some release in the next 30 to 60 days. Probably some smaller helper tools can be released sooner, but I just want to show you guys kind of the lab. We're working in the BD labs. One thing we're working on is potentially allowing your members to create websites based on their business listing information, and you guys being able to sell those websites to your members. They would just need to connect a domain. But effectively, with the AI, you can spin up a beautiful one-pager site for them with the ability to kind of edit things. We'll click the inline editor here. So I'll just put Jason here. So they can make some simple edits to what the AI creates, but this will allow you to potentially sell additional products and services to your members. But not just that, that's kind of why this banner was here. Let's go back to this real quick. So we just made a faux banner to kind of see what this would look like if you guys were able to sell things. So this is a sample listings here. Let's just generate a website. Let's look at their listing on the site. We'll take a step back for a second because this stuff's kind of cool. So this person has a listing. We actually just did this from the Business Importer tool. So it's an Italian restaurant in North Carolina. And if we click Generate My Website, and let's just give it a minute to cook so we can see what the AI is doing. Let me show you guys a couple other things. Again, this stuff is coming soon. It's not yet released, but if you guys stick with BD, it's going to be really awesome what you guys can do. Some other things we're doing is using AI. Again, this is not available to you guys. This is just kind of like behind the curtain that we're showing you in the webinar of what we're working on. But the ability to use AI to generate newsletters. Here's one I spun up. I just said I'm creating a June newsletter for my professional lawyer directory. And it just created this. And of course, the images and text can be swapped out with what I would want to enter. You can also tell it to update or what's called remixing. So you can say remove the directory statistics section and things like that. So you can actually start designing newsletters or web pages or a social post or update some of your page's SEO meta details with the help of AI. So we're just on the cusp of wrapping our hands around this. Big shout out to the dev team and especially Matt, our CTO here at Brilliant Directories. We should have some usable products with AI available to all BD users very soon. So just want to let you know those things are in the mix and coming soon. We are working on them here. So let's take a look at this person's what website was spun up. Let's see if anything was spun up yet. Let's go to the business toolkit. All right, it's still generating. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes to generate the website. Let me see if there's something else I can show you guys while that is spinning up. I can show you some examples of other sites that were created already. Let's scroll down here. So these are sites that were sample sites that were created off of just the business listing. And again, this would be really cool if we had the ability to allow you guys to sell these one-pager websites to your members and host it, then they connect their domain, and it's another product to sell. So we could see the output is a really nice, beautiful, simple website with contact forms and all. Okay, let's come back to here. If this isn't done yet, we can move on and we can revisit this in a moment. Okay, I'll let that cook. We call it cooking when the AI is building something. And with that, we'll come back to that. But David, we'll pass things back to you and we can go through today's tip of the week, which we've covered instant business data before, but this is kind of a tip of the week on how to get the most from the instant business data. So if it's all right with you, David, I'll pass things over now.
Absolutely. So it seems like just yesterday we released the Instant Business Data tool. I believe it was just about a year ago now since we initially released it. A lot of BD users have been using it, but from time to time, we gotten a question, especially from users in more rural areas or low population areas, about having some difficulty finding a lot of results for business categories that they're searching for to try to import into their website. And so we wanted to give some tips and then also do a brief demo to kind of show you how to get the most out of the Instant Business Data tool, because there are some filters and some settings within there that can really limit the number of results you get. Just wanted to give a kind of quick overview here of what the Instant Business Data tool is in case you haven't used it yet. And then we can go into some tips and tricks. And then we'll also give you like I said, a little demo so that you can see in action how adjusting some of these specific settings and filters can adjust the number of results that are yielded. So first things first, what is the Instant Business Data tool? It allows you to quickly and easily populate your website with actual business listings. And then for you, the website owner, that in turn can unlock potential leads. If that business data contains contact information for those businesses, you can follow up with them, try to get them signed up on your site, promote any other business services or offers that you have. So overall, pretty simple. You can instantly import real business listings by business category and by location. You can also search specifically for business names as well if you're interested in importing chains or franchises, things like that. There's a bunch of filters and settings and search options within there. And every BD site does start with 100 free credits. You can do as many searches as you want. Those credits only wind down as you actually begin to import the businesses, but you can do as many searches as you want, and you can see how many results are yielded with each of those searches. So if you do this, especially for new sites or even growing sites, it can really make your site appear to be more active, more credible, ready for more traffic, help to entice general users, website visitors to click around your website more, maybe interact with some of those business profiles. And again, a big bonus here is that if that business data does contain the contact information for those businesses, whether it be email address, phone number, their website URL, you can then reach out to those business owners, kind of give them your elevator pitch, why your website would be beneficial for them. If you have a free membership plan, try to get them signed up for that so that they can update any information on the listing that's already on your website, or maybe upsell them to a premium membership plan or sell them any other business services you might be offering. So a lot of benefits here with the Instant Business Data tool.
One extra bonus here that Brilliant Directories does is, of course, this data is coming from multiple sources. Google does not like duplicate content. So with every listing that is imported, a summary or custom description each time is created for that business, and it's optimized for Google SEO, follows best practices, avoids AI detection, and more. So we've done our best to, when you're importing these listings, it's not just duplicate data on your site. It gives some meat for Google to potentially chew on and index, gives it a better chance to index some of these imported records.
Very important note there. And we did also want to give you guys a little bit of transparency in terms of the database that you are searching through with the Instant Business Data tool. So the database, it contains over 209 million listings from around the world, about 160 countries. Obviously, the countries with the higher populations typically have more business data. So you can see China, India up there at the top. The US has over 19 million business listings within the database. We have our friends across the pond in the UK, almost almost 4 million. Up north in Canada, 2.2 million. So there's a lot of business data in there. But as we mentioned at the beginning of this, we really wanted to focus on some tips and tricks on how to get the most out of this tool, especially if you're in a lower populated area or a more rural area. If you're not finding the number of results you were expecting, we wanted to give you some tips and tricks on how to get closer to that goal and yield some more results. So jumping right on into it here, the first thing you can do, there's basically two ways that you can search for businesses within the Instant Business Data tool. You can do it strictly by business category, or optionally, you can include a business name. So if you're only using the business category filter, you might want to consider enabling the related category match option. And again, we'll go through a quick demo of all of these so you can see in practice how each of these work. But for example, if you're searching for attorneys or doctors or restaurants, that might have a lot of different subcategories. So attorneys and doctors tend to have a lot of different types of specialties that they might focus on. Restaurants, there can be a bunch of different types of restaurants depending on the cuisine that they serve. So if you're starting off searching for a very specific business category, you might want to try to expand that. Click on the related category match to get some broader results. Also, if you're optionally including a business name in your search, so again, if you're looking to import some chains or franchises, say you type in Starbucks as the business name, if you're not getting the number of results that you are expecting, instead of sticking with the exact name match option, you might want to enable the partial name match. This way, in case the business name actually has some other letters or words or maybe an apostrophe in there, you're kind of giving yourself the best opportunity to capture all those businesses with a partial name match. Another one that we didn't actually mention in here, it doesn't do so much in terms of getting you more results, but you can also exclude specific businesses. So if you want to import restaurants, but you don't want to include McDonald's, you can exclude businesses with the name McDonald's. Just a quick tip on that side. One of the biggest things you can do though is uncheck the preferred attributes. So there's 4 types of preferred attributes that you can enable or disable. It's the screenshot just in the upper right-hand corner, the business's email address, phone number, website URL, and if the business information was updated within the last 30 days. As you uncheck some of those preferred attributes, you'll begin to get more results from your search. So if you're not seeing the number of results that you were expecting, you might want to start with unchecking updated within the last 30 days, because if it's an established business, there simply might not have been any information that needed to have been updated within the last month. So that's a good one to uncheck. And then probably kind of work your way up that list. Uncheck the website URL, then uncheck phone number, then uncheck email address if you still need to get some more results. Regardless, even if they don't have those preferred attributes, the businesses will still be imported. They'll still create listings on your website. The only downside, if a business listing does not have an email address, a phone number, or a website, it'll make it a little bit more difficult if you do actually intend to reach out to these business owners to try to get them to come to your website, claim their listing, enable their account, everything like that. One more thing you can do, this is another big one, again, especially if you're in a more rural area, is expand your location search. So what you might want to try doing if you're in a small rural town, where not all the time, but typically people are used to traveling a little further to go to businesses that they're looking for, you might want to also try searching a larger nearby city, especially if there's a metropolitan area nearby. You can also do separate searches for adjacent zip codes. This way, if there's no big cities nearby, at least you can try to get some businesses from surrounding zip codes within that same area. And if you're willing to really expand the search and get as many businesses as you want, you might want to try searching the entire state or province for what it is that you're looking for. So overall, you probably will tend to want to start broad and then narrow down as needed. The broader your initial search, the more listings you're going to have, which means the more opportunities, not just for you, the website owner, in terms of reaching out to those businesses, selling them services, selling them memberships, but also for your general users, your website visitors. If they have more businesses to look through, more listings to click on your website, that's some more opportunities for them as well. I think it'll make a lot more sense as we actually show this in practice. So Jason, do we want to head on into the admin area and do some sample searches and enable and disable some of these filters?
Yeah, definitely. Let's take a one step back. This site did get cooked for the Italian restaurant. Let's check it out, and we'll dive into the instant business data. So it created this website here for that business strictly off of their listing information, the limited listing information that was available. So again, businesses on your site who don't have websites, sure they could turn to other website builders and creators, but if they're already joined in your directory, the call to action is there. Again, we're exploring this right now and how the logistics would work with the hosting and allowing you guys to charge whatever fee you would want to charge to your members for this type of service. But we can see definitely for content creation, we have a strong handle now on the AI tool, and we're going to work in the coming months on implementation and making it available to you guys, both in the admin area and the front end of your website. All right, so sorry for that time out there. Let's dive back into the instant business data and let's run through some scenarios that David was mentioning on how to get more results if you're hitting a roadblock and getting limited results for whatever reason. So, David, if you want to guide me, I'll go to the business data page and we can simulate some searches. If you want to let me know what to search for, and we can see the different results counts that we get with modifying some of the search filters here.
Yeah, so two things. I think a good area to search will be, or a good location would be Johannesburg, South Africa. And then we can actually quickly see a difference in terms of which business category we select. So if we select plumbing and do a search for plumbing in Johannesburg, we'll see how many results we get.
And here we have primary category search, which is more specific, like the actual main category of the business would need to be plumbing. And we have all the preferred attributes checked. So we're asking it to find only results that include this information. And the updated last 30 days, I think, is one that we can always choose to uncheck because business information doesn't change 30 days at a time. So they might set it once and leave it for years because their phone number and address and logo have not changed. But let's just do a search for records here for plumbing. And we hit a go ahead. Yeah.
We hit a roadblock. We got 0 records. So this is just an important point in terms of which business category you're selecting, because there's also a business category for plumber. And if we select plumber, we'll yield a lot more results in Johannesburg rather than 0 in plumbing.
All right, let's look for plumber. Same thing with the primary category, and we'll do a search for records. So a whopping 6 records found here.
And that is with all of the preferred attributes enabled. And if we disable those, broadening our search, we should yield even more results.
All right, let's do one by one just for a second and see. We went from 6 to 19 for the updated in the last 30 days. If we remove the website URL, also 19. If we remove the phone number, it might still be 19. And if we remove the email address, we see 172. Now, in my opinion, one of the main benefits of the business import tool is if you're starting out, it helps your site appear seasoned and credible from day one. It's not necessarily to go after these imported listings. It's to populate your site and then start your real marketing with a site that looks credible and seasoned and populated. Now let's do one more thing here. Let's switch plumber as the primary category and switch to related category match. So now we've upped it up to 209 records found. That's from, we started at 0, right? If we hit that roadblock, we were searching for plumbing, but plumbing isn't really the name of what a person does. It's the type of service. So plumber was a better category to search in this case. All right, David, you guide me and I'll do the filter. So what else should we can or should we do here?
What we could also do is expand the location. So maybe after doing a little bit more market research, we decide Johannesburg, maybe it's just too small of a market that we want to focus on. And so now we've decided we want to broaden our reach. So now let's search for all of South Africa and see how many results we get.
10x almost.
10x. So it really goes to show how adjusting these search filters can affect the number of results you get. And we did want to use South Africa as an example because we do have a lot of international users. So we didn't want to pick a place within the US. So we wanted to show you this can apply whether you're in the US or any other country. There's a couple 100 million business records within this database. But sometimes you have to play around with some of these filters to really find the number of records that you're comfortable importing. And again, typically when you're first starting out, it's best to start as broad as possible and then begin to slowly narrow your search filters down until you're as narrow as you want to be. And then you can see how many records are found. And then you can make a decision whether you really want to focus that narrowly or if you want to go a little broader. And again, as Jason mentioned, the primary benefit of using this is to be able to quickly, almost immediately import business listings into your website to really make the website feel more seasoned, feel active, make actual additional businesses that you're reaching out to feel a little bit more comfortable registering on your site once you do start your actual marketing initiatives.
So that is with the category plus the location search. Let's get into, you can do category and keyword business name, but that even narrows it further. But let's only do the business name. So there's three options here: exact, partial, and does not match. So if we put the word plumbing in here and did exact name match, we're basically asking the system to look for businesses whose entire and full complete name is plumbing, which probably isn't going to exist. So let's do search for records. Well, okay, 5 records were found in this case. So that's great. They probably, whatever the case may be. But now if we do a partial match, it's going to look for the word plumbing that is part of their official business name. So this could be like Super Mario Brothers Plumbing Company, and the word plumbing would be in there. Now, when you're doing that partial match, you want to make sure the word you're using to search for the type of business would really be part of, would really be the type of business you're looking for. So I think for dentists, I think they use like DDS as an acronym at the end. So you could search for businesses like that, or lawyers sometimes have things at the end of their acronyms at the end of their law firm names, or just searching like law firm would make sense. But searching for something like McDonald's as a partial match, you're not going to just get McDonald's restaurants. You might get McDonald's law firm, for example, or McDonald's plumbing. So just be careful when you're doing the partial match name that you're choosing words that would probably 99% mean that it's the type of business you're looking for. So let's see how many businesses have plumbing as part of their official name. So there's 1,600 businesses, that's huge now, that actually have plumbing in their name. And the chances are they probably work in, they are plumbers, they offer plumbing services. So that is how the partial name match works. What other examples can we show here, David? Did we want to do the McDonald's example or anything else?
I think McDonald's is good, but actually on the flip side of this. So say you're looking to import restaurants, one-off local restaurants within Los Angeles, but you don't want to import all of the McDonald's that are within Los Angeles also. So if you select restaurant as the business category, you exclude McDonald's, and we select Los Angeles as the location, we can see that if we exclude McDonald's, the number of restaurants should go down.
So let's do this. Let's do a search without excluding anything. Let's just do a search for restaurants that are McDonald's in the name. Let's just search for restaurants first. How many restaurants in Los Angeles? So there's 1,700. Now let's add McDonald's here. McDonald's, and restaurants do not include McDonald's in the official name. So it came down to 1,600. So it was about 17 and change. It's about 100 McDonald's restaurants in Los Angeles. So we would get restaurants results without McDonald's here. So that's kind of a perfect example of how you can exclude business names like Walmart, or sometimes you don't want chains and things like that from the type of search that you're doing. Any other scenarios you want to cover here?
I think that pretty much covers it. It's going to vary a lot depending on the specific use case, but I think one of the best tips, again, especially if you're in a more rural or remote area, is search, and you want to be very specific with the location of the businesses. Do several searches and include adjacent zip codes, maybe adjacent cities if there's not a close by major city that you know is going to have results. You can try to include some of the neighboring zip codes to get some additional business listings that way as well. So just some additional tips before you go ahead and use the instant business data tool. One of the best things we can recommend is to conduct your search. Say you get those 17 or 1,600 restaurants in Los Angeles. Before you use all 1,600 of those credits to import the businesses into your website, start with just importing 10 of them first, or 20 or 50 of them first. Take a look through those, make sure everything's lining up with what you were expecting. And then if that's the case, then you can go ahead and import the rest of all those results. Because the important thing to keep in mind is that duplicate imports will automatically be skipped. So if you conduct a search once, you import 10 results, and then you conduct that same search again, and you want to import the remaining business records that were found, the system will automatically skip over the ones that have already been imported. So you won't get any duplicates if you do that.
Just a note on that, David, not just the same search. So if you do a category search for plumbers in Los Angeles and import all of them, then you just search for plumbers as like a keyword name and it finds the same results. It won't import duplicates, even if it was from a different search. So it will skip them. And we do see this from time to time. Sometimes people think that a duplicate was imported, but actually it was the same business name at a different location address, or a different address, I should say. So of course, just remember that there could be a business with multiple locations in a specific area, such as a McDonald's restaurant, and it's not a duplicate listing, it's a different location for the same business.
That's right. And also, if you do conduct a search and then you import a number of listings from that search, say you intentionally delete those members, you unintentionally delete those members, whatever the case may be, you come back, you decide, I shouldn't have deleted those. You don't have to use any more of your credits to re-import those or conduct the search again. You can go into that My Imports tab where you can track the progress of your imports, and you can also see your previous search results, and you can just re-import them for free at any time.
That's right. So in this example, I imported 10 Italian restaurants. Let's say I went to my search members page and deleted them. I'd see a re-import button here. It knows that those members were deleted from my member database, and I can re-import them for free.
And one last, almost kind of power user tip here. So when you import members, these business listings, after you conduct a search, you can of course assign them to a membership plan. So if you have the claimable business listings add-on, for example, you can import all of these businesses as claimable listings, which would be great. And then you can also assign them to a specific member category as well. So you don't have to do that after the fact. That'll all be taken care of for you during the import process. But you can also apply tags to these members. So if you want to kind of make like an internal note to yourself about when they were imported, or if you want to just apply any other tag for whatever other reason to segment them from any other segments of your website's members that you have, you can do that. This way you can send emails only to the businesses that were part of this import, or any other similar scenario.
Great tips there, David. Thanks for putting these slides together. That use case was perfect with Johannesburg as an example, and we went from 0 results to almost, just over 2,000 results. So just some tips and tricks for you guys to kind of play around with it. And one final note, that tool is a helper tool. We've done our best to provide the filters we can, and it is one source of data for your site. And of course, we want you guys to have the most success for your site. So if that tool's not working out for you or getting the results you want, there are lots of other sources to get data from. So don't feel like you've hit a total roadblock. You can find other sources for business data online that might have the types of filters that you're looking for. We just tried to create, a really actually first an affordable way to add business listings to your site. So we'll always take your suggestions and update it as we can. But again, if you're not getting the results you want, don't feel like you've hit a total roadblock. There are other tools and sources to get business data from as well. All right. Well, David, thank you for that. I do see a lot of questions asked. So if you have questions, feel free to type them into the chat. We do have some that we'll pull up now. We have plenty of time in the webinar here. So I'll just start firing away through these and we can get through them one by one. Rich mentioned, he says he has a question about the business toolkit. So yeah, if you want to type in that question, Rich, we can address that question for you. All right. WG is asking, if you own more than one BD plan or BD website, can you distribute some business data credits to other websites you own? That is a great question. Yes, email our support team or create a support ticket and just let them know I'd like to move X amount of the business import credits from this website to that website. They'll be happy to accommodate you, WG, there. Okay. Robert's asking, are there plans to be able to see what's being imported instead of having to accept all results? So this goes back to the tip of kind of a test with 10 records first. Kind of the nature of purchasing or buying any type of business data is once you see the data, kind of the genie's out of the bottle at that point. So you can't kind of cherry pick what you want. What we recommend is doing the best filtering you can and then do a small sample, 5 or 10. And if you're happy with that, then go for the larger import. Generally, that would satisfy kind of what you were after. And if you're not happy with that 5 or 10, adjust your filters until you are satisfied with those types of results. But kind of seeing the results and then choosing which ones you want for your site is almost a moot point because, like I said, the genie's already out of the bottle at that point, and you've already seen and accessed the data. It's really something that can't be undone at that point.
And just to add on to what you said earlier, one of the initial goals of ours when we launched the Instant Business Data Tool was to make it one of, if not the most affordable way to get business records. So even doing it this way, just by using 5 or 10 initial credits to make sure that the search yielded the results you were expecting, I would say just about 10 times out of 10, you should still be better off than if you had to purchase a huge list of thousands of business records that you have no idea what's included in that list prior to purchasing. So that really was the initial goal with this, was try to make it one of the most, if not the most affordable ways to get business records quickly and easily, almost immediately on your BD site.
Yeah, what we've been able to do, because BD's a family and a community. So what we've done is we've worked with the data providers, and instead of you guys purchasing small batches, we're purchasing it up front for everyone and passing along those savings for that data because we're getting it at a larger volume up front. And again, for us, it's about providing that convenience to you guys more than anything. All right, Rich is asking, where will the AI websites be hosted? So this is a great question. And again, we're a few months away from that and we're on our way there. But the idea will be that it will be under a subdomain of your site. And the person who wants to connect that to as their company website, they'll be able to do a CNAME connection there. And what we're thinking is because it'll be a subdomain under your site, it'll use your site's bandwidth. So again, you can charge whoever you're selling these sites to, whatever amount makes sense. But this way it'll be more integrated and easier for everything to be managed. We don't have all the answers yet today, so we have to do some testing and figure out configuration. But that's kind of where our head's at on how this can be executed so you guys can offer that to your members. All right. And we have a question from Nikki. All right, Nikki's asking, I've noticed you've got some resources for lead gen, but do people find it harder to drive leads to a page and then get that lead to members, especially via ads? Is organic traffic better for BD sites? This is a fantastic question, Nikki. And this actually goes back to the origins of Brilliant Directories. And when we were operating our own directory websites prior to even Brilliant Directories existing, we had sites for finding muralists, finding interior designers, interior designer directories, and others. And really a hybrid is the best model. What you need is a good landing page. Just like when someone goes to a thumbtack, it says like, oh, we have plumbers in your area, fill in this form and we'll match you. So you want the landing pages to be clean and clear and easy for the end user to understand. And with regards to ads, let's say we'll just stick with interior designers and then all your members are in the United States, or you have a concentration of members in New York and they've joined your site and you want to feed them leads. So what you want to do is I would highly recommend running PPC ads through Google and Bing or whatever it might be for consumers looking for designers in New York. Have a good landing page and just know a little bit about what you're doing with PPC. I almost want to do a tip of the week on it. It's a little technical, but I want to kind of share some fundamentals on how you can, what's called arbitrage. You spend a little to make more. So if you spend $10 to get that lead to your site and you can sell that lead for $25 or $20 $20 or $15 to one member, or you can sell the same lead up to 4 times. So if you're selling, let's say $25 a lead or $5 a lead, you sell it 4 times. Just put a multiplier on what you're selling that lead for. Organic is good too. It does take time. SEO can be slower, especially for a wide range of keywords that you want to rank for. So between a combination of PPC, social media, and waiting for that organic traffic to come in, especially if you're a newer site, PPC and paid ads is a great way to growth hack. And then also find a way for your members or turn your visitors into advocates of your site. I think we did a webinar on this, and I think let me take a second to share it. We did a webinar on how to turn visitors into, let me see if I can find this. We have some goodies here in the blog. David, it was about, if you can recall, how to turn your, let me search for visitors here. I won't take too much time. Let's do a 30-second test here. Converting visitors into leads to feel. Here's one. It's how to turn the visitors into leads to get them to fill out your lead form. I'll share this in the chat here for everyone. Let me find this other one here. I can't find it in the next few seconds. I'll just move on. Here, 3 ways to turn your website visitors into your top promoters. So this is another marketing strategy, right? It's not social media, it's not Google ads, but this is how to turn them into advocates to share your website for you, to propagate and aggregate your website, whether it's asking them to sharing it or other things we cover in this. So yeah, to answer your question, ads are highly effective. Here's a tip. When you start any Google Ads campaign, there is going to be immediate waste and hemorrhaging of your budget, and that's okay. Start with $5 or $10 a day, and then look at what drained your budget the most. It could be search terms that you need to add to your negative list, which is the number one thing everyone should always do. Or it could be a keyword that's just driving the wrong type of traffic. So if you have a week of ads for like $10 a day, that can help you quickly refine and ensure that you're not wasting ad spend. And once you feel like you're in a good place, then you can increase that daily budget a bit more. And again, just continue to refine until you eliminate all the keywords or search terms that are wasting your budget or don't really correlate. They're bad. Google, for whatever reason, is driving that traffic to your site. You can stop it so it doesn't waste your budget every day. So that's my biggest tip, is start with a smaller budget for a week and find the things to eliminate from the campaign, which should help strengthen the overall campaign.
And one more great resource that we have on lead gen, not so much on the advertising side, more so on the website side, was a previous tip of the week. I'll go ahead and put it in the chat here, where we actually went over some kind of best practices for maximizing and generating leads. We went into the Wayback Machine, like Jason was mentioning, some of those old directory websites, interior designer directory. We grabbed some screenshots so that you could actually see the verbiage that was used, the pages that were created, to really give confidence both to the people looking for interior designers as well as the interior designers to know that whatever leads they would purchase were already kind of qualified ahead of time. So that's a great resource as well.
I love that one that we did, actually. Thanks for sharing that. So Rich is asking, what's the use case for the clone member feature? I'll be honest, I didn't know exactly right away, but a lot of users were requesting it. One is just the utility of being able to clone a member. But again, perhaps you're cloning a member, it's the same business, but in a different address. You're doing it for convenience, or you're just doing some internal management or organization of members, and you need to duplicate some members with some small modifications you'll make thereafter. And that way you can ensure with that clone, kind of everything is set the same for the listing, the membership plan, the categories, and some other information. And then you might want to make some additional refinements to make that clone more unique. So that one was more based on popularity and demand that came in, but it came up a few times and it was some low-hanging fruit we could do for the BD community there. All right, good question so far. We still have a little bit more time. Let's see what we could do. Okay, here's a great tip for Google Ads. Robert saying, stay away from tablet and mobile clicks. Again, we can go down the rabbit hole for Google Ads. This is a fantastic tip. Another thing is if you're doing remarketing ads, you want to, in my opinion, stay out of game apps, because game apps, people are just waiting for ads to finish and they're useless clicks for you. And usually the targeting is really poor on that as well. So yeah, these are not hard and fast rules. This is just kind of generalizations that I've learned myself. You could do your own testing. interesting. Mobile is not horrible for us. We don't totally rule out mobile, but sometimes we'll reduce our budget for the mobile click. So good tip there, Robert. Thanks for sharing that. So same point here. Would love to be able to cherry pick from the business import record. So that just kind of goes back to once the genie's out of the bottle, then you kind of, once it's provided to you, it's kind of hard to take it back. So just recommend importing a smaller sample and see if you're satisfied with that, and then continuing with a larger import amount. All right. I think it was a great webinar today, and it's great to be back with you guys as well. Anything you'd like to add before we end things here, David?
I think that just about covers it. Hopefully the tip of the week provided some beneficial insight, especially if you've already tried to use it and you didn't get the number of results that you were looking for. So if that was the case, try it out again. All sites come with 100 free credits. So try playing around with some of those filters.
Thank you, guys. Great webinar. It's great to be back here with you guys. The next webinar will be in 2 weeks. That will keep us in the month of July, maybe, I think. But we'll be in 2 weeks, the next webinar. Thank you guys for joining us today. Don't forget to download the Brilliant Directories app, join the Brilliant Directories Facebook group, and also subscribe to the Brilliant Directories YouTube channel. On behalf of myself, David, thank you so much for today. It was a great webinar. And also on behalf of the entire Brilliant Directories family, we appreciate you guys so much. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a great day and a brilliant week. Take care, guys.